Hey there! So I have a tag video for you guys today. It's actually a interview that I did with this girl named Sona, who has a nail polish blog. I'll have that link down in the video description. But we did an interview and it was about 10 or 11 questions, and I decided to sort of turn it into like a tag video so I can sort of share with you my answers and some of the products that I picked out from the tag. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the questions. The first question is, what type of colors do you like the most? My favorite nail polish colors are like nudes and neutrals and taupes, and I also like blues and silvers. So one of my favorite nude or neutral nail polish shade is Under My Trench Coat by Sephora by OPI. And this is actually one of my favorite nail polish shades ever. One of my favorite taupe shade of nail polish is Over the Taupe by OPI. And then one of my favorite blue shade is Yodel Me on My Cell by OPI. And then one of my favorite silver shades is Smoke and Mirrors by Sonia Kashuk. So those are just some of my favorite nail polishes in each of the categories. I usually gravitate towards any of those 4 shades. It's just sort of like my go-to nail polish shades when I buy nail polish. There's a second part to that question, and it says, would you prefer black or white nail polish? If I were to pick between the two, I would pick black, just because white nail polish on my nails looks a little bit chalky and it looks a little bit kind of like white out on my nails, so I don't really like how that looks. The second question, what nail polish finish do you prefer? I really do like shimmery nail polishes, like ones that have a lot of glitter in them, just because they dry really quickly and it's harder to mess them up. Because when it comes to like cream finishes, when you mess up or you have a flaw or you like ding it up, it's like really noticeable and it's hard to really patch it up. But when you use sort of like a shimmery nail polish or one that contains a lot of glitter, it's easily camouflaged and it makes it so it's not so noticeable. So I like it for those reasons. But I have to say my favorite nail polish finish would have to be like a cream finish with a hint of shimmer to it. So it's actually like that in the Under My Trench Coat. I probably won't pick up on camera, but it's a cream in general, but it has sort of like a sheen and like a shimmer to it. And I like that just because after, when it's dry and you have your nails done, when it hits the light, the shimmer really does pick up. So I really like sort of that kind of finish. But the next question is, what type of brush do you like? And I actually like the flat brushes more than the sort of typical round brush. And that's kind of why I'm a big fan of OPI, just because their brushes are all flat and they're easier for me to use. I find that it's easier just because it's flat and you can just, you know, swipe and you don't have to kind of flatten out the brush as you're painting your nails. But the benefit of the sort of like regular nail polish brush is that you can really maneuver around the nail a little bit easier, and especially if you have smaller nails, then it makes it a lot easier for that. So I do use both type of brushes when I paint my nails, but I do prefer the flatter brush that you do get with the OPI. So let me show you. So this one is by OPI, and see how it has the flatter brush. And so I really like that. I feel like it's a lot easier to paint your nails that way. Anyways, next question. What are your favorite nail polish brands and why do you love them? That's kind of easy for me. I usually lean towards OPI. I do love OPI. I think majority of my nail polish collection is OPI. I think. I'm not exactly sure, but I do love OPI nail polishes. In general, I like the finish, I like the brushes, I like the consistency most of the time. Most of the time I don't really run into ones that are sheer, so I do in general like OPI as my favorite nail polish brand. I'm not a really big fan of China Glaze. I've never really been really into buying most of those. I actually only own like 3 China Glaze nail polishes, so that's kind of shows you like that it's not really one of my favorites in terms of nail polish brands. But some of the other ones that I really like, I do like Zoya. I also like Essie a lot. But that's pretty much it in terms of like my absolute favorite nail polish brands. The next question, do you like any drugstore nail polish? That's kind of iffy for me. If Sally Hansen counts as drugstore nail polish, then kind of, but I'm not really a huge fan of Sally Hansen. In terms of other drugstore nail polish brands like Revlon or Rimmel, I can't say that I'm entirely like fond of those brands. They do occasionally come out with really pretty shades, and the quality is pretty decent at most times, but I can't say that I would really lean towards buying those. When I do go to the drugstore, I do notice them, but then most of the time the prices are pretty close to like one of an OPI or like an Essie, so I just would rather spend a couple dollars more and buy an OPI nail polish or one by Essie or Zoya if I can find one. But yeah, most of the time I don't really buy drugstore nail polish, but I do own some, so I don't think it's like absolutely terrible. The next question, what is your most used base and top coat? For base coat, I don't really usually ever use base coat, but when I do, I use the one by Revlon. It's the base and top coat, but it works really good as a base coat, so that's why if I ever do use a base coat, that's the one I would use. And then for top coat, I really like the Good To Go top coat by Essie. Although it doesn't really work out for everybody. I've heard of experiences where people don't really like it as much as Sèche Vite. So I do like Sèche Vite and the Good To Go top coat by Essie in terms of my favorite top coats. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that question. Next question. Choose some OPIs, China glazes, and Essie shades that you would recommend to other people, and why would you recommend them? Okay, so some of my favorite OPIs that I would recommend. The first one is DS Classic, and this is from the DS or Designer, I think it's Designer series or whatever, but this is one of the most flattering nail polishes I own. I feel like it will work on everyone's nails. It looks just really pretty, and it's a nice shimmer, and it's a little holographic looking, but I feel like this is the most flattering nail polish on your nails. It's just really pretty. I know that this line from OPI is a little bit more expensive, but I definitely think it's worth it. I've used almost half the bottle, which is a lot considering I have never finished an entire bottle of nail polish, and so this one is about halfway down, and so that kind of just goes to show how often I reach for this nail polish. I think I'll actually buy a backup of that when it runs out. But anyway, another OPI one that I really recommend is Loose Certainly Look Marvelous. And I actually got this after my friend Angel, she bought it, and then I saw it on her nails and I was like, oh my god, I have to get it. So I got it like within the same week. But I feel like this is another nail polish that is flattering on most skin tones, and I feel like you can wear this all year round, even though it is a little bit more of a fall color. I do think it's a very flattering shade for your nails. So Loose Certainly Look Marvelous by OPI. And then actually, since I only own 3 China Glaze nail polish, I don't really have ones that I recommend all that much, but I do like this one, and it's in the shade Pelican Gray. And I like this one because it's a nice neutral, it's a nice gray shade, and I don't see a lot of this in nail polish that much. I see a lot more taupey shades of gray, but this one is just a nice, plain, a little bit more blue-toned slate gray, so I really like this shade by China Glaze. And then a couple by Essie. The first one is Saint Tropez, and this is a really pretty, sort of like a beigey, sandy nude, and I feel like this is a really pretty shade on your nails. It makes your nails look really clean and polished, so I really like this shade by Essie. And then another one I have by Essie is called Côte Azur, and this is one of my absolute favorite blue shades of nail polish. It just looks like really clean, and it looks fresh, and it looks like it's a little bit more of a different shade of blue. It has a little bit of shimmer to it, but I feel like it's just really, really kind of like a classier blue, so I really like this shade by Essie. But those are all the ones that I would recommend from each of those brands that would pretty much work universally for like anybody's nails. The next question, do you own a nail polish related to an interesting story? I had a hard time answering this question just because I a lot of my nail polishes have a story to them, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, like I remember when I bought them because this happened that day, or I bought it when I was with this person. But the one that really stood out to me is this one by MAC, and it's called Soiree, and this came out, I forgot which collection it came out with, but when this came out, I knew I wanted to get it because I saw swatches of it beforehand, and so I actually went to like 3 or 4 MAC locations just to hunt this down. And so that day I seriously got up first thing in the morning and I went to the nearest MAC to me, which is like a 20-minute drive, and then they told me that they had already sold out, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. So I jumped and drove over to the next MAC location, and they told me, oh sorry hun, we ran out already, you can go check at like Nordstrom. So I walked down to Nordstrom and they didn't have it there either. And so I was like hopping back and forth between all these MAC locations, and then I finally found it, and there was like 2 left, and so I got it. So this one is called Soiree by MAC, and it's a really, I think it's like a sort of like a rose gold sort of shade. It's really glittery, but I feel like I don't own one like this, so I had to get it at the time. But yeah, that's sort of like my interesting story to go with this nail polish. Let's see what else. Number 9. Name a nail polish which you would like to own but you probably won't. I actually do have a couple of those. I actually really wanted to get All Hail McQueen by Butter London, which was like the limited edition one for Alexander McQueen, but I'm having the hardest time tracking that down, and I feel like it's sold out everywhere, and the only place you can really get it is on eBay, and I don't really justify buying it on there, especially since how the business practices are a little bit sketchy on eBay. So I don't really think I'll ever own that one, but I would like to own it just because it's really similar to DS Classic by OPI. So there's that one. And then a couple other ones are like Chanel Paradoxal and Particular, but I don't think I'll ever own those either just because I don't really justify paying that much for a single nail polish. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that question. And the last question is, would you rather nail art or simply just colored nails? That's actually a good question just because I usually opt towards just solid shades on my nails, but I do like the occasional nail art on my nails sometimes, but I'm more of like a plain nail shade kind of person, so I guess I would lean more towards just plain colored nails. And that's pretty much it for the questions. I actually thought up of one more question, which is like, what is my least favorite nail polish in my collection, or one that I don't think I'll ever use? And it is this one by Color Club. I don't even know what it's called. It came in a set, and it is like the brightest highlighter yellow nail polish that I own, but I don't think I'll ever use this. I've never even like opened it or swatched it. I just don't think I'll ever use it. I got it because it came in a set, and it's just sort of sitting around. So I might give it away, or I might give it to one of my friends or something, but yeah, this bright highlighter shade by Color Club. But that is pretty much it for this sort of nail polish tag. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything I mentioned in this video. I will try and link things down in the video description and all of my questions and answers. Feel free to answer any of the questions in the comments, and if you guys want, you can film a video response and I will tag any of you guys who are interested in doing that and leaving a video response to this video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. What's on my nails this week is Country Club Khaki by Orally, and I was just really into neutrals this week. I've been meaning to use darker shades, but neutrals are kind of easier for me to pull off. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!